Hi everyone, this will be part one of the pegboard toy video tutorials, and in this part we will create the pegboard tabletop, and we will also create a round peg and a square peg, and then we will assemble them together. So remember, you can consult this document as we go along for like dimensions or anything else, and also make sure you're saving each part with a specific descriptive name like round peg, square peg, tabletop, etc. So open up Inventor 2016, and you can either click here for new part or you can go to new standard.ipt. We're going to start with the round peg. And the dimensions for the round peg include a 1-inch circular face, and that will be extruded to 3 inches. So I'll start by drawing a circle. I will dimension to 1 inch, and then I will extrude to 3 inches. You can change the colors by clicking on this generic area and choosing a material, and then going to the second drop-down box and choosing a color. Go to the iPro in the upper left corner, Save As, Desktop, Round Peg. Now we'll go and make the square peg. So you'll navigate to the iPro, New, Part. The square peg will have the dimensions that include a 1-inch by 1-inch square face, and then we will extrude that to 3 inches. We'll start with the rectangle tool. We'll dimension that to 1 by 1, and then we'll extrude to 3 inches. Change the color here. iPro, Save As, Desktop, Square Peg. Okay, now we'll open a new part and we'll create the pegboard toy tabletop. iPro, New, Part. And the document will give you the dimensions for the tabletop, but I start with a rectangle, and the width will be 5.75, and the depth will be 3 inches, 5.75 by 3 inches, and we'll extrude the height to 0.75. So right now we're looking at the top view, and from the top view we will draw and sketch a circle feature and a square feature, and then we will cut those features out to make openings. So I'm going to right click, New Sketch. I'll start with my circle, and then I'll draw what looks like a square. And then I will dimension my circle to 1 inch, and then I will dimension my square to 1 by 1. Remember, when you dimension, you click on the segment, you let go, you move the mouse away, you click again to set the dimension and change it. Now that I've placed these features, I need to space them properly. I need to space them on the vertical axis as well as on the horizontal axis. There is a helpful part of the document that will reinforce why we're dimensioning and some of the values that I use, so you can consult that if you would like. So for the vertical dimension of the vertical spacing of the circle feature, I'm going to click the top edge, click the green center, move the mouse away, and I'm going to enter 3 divided by 2. For the horizontal centering of this circle feature, I'm going to click the left edge of the tabletop. Then I'm going to click the green center point of the circle, move the mouse away somewhere where I can see easily, like this is an area of the screen where I can see easily. Click, and I want that to be 5.75, which is the width of the tabletop, divided by 3. And that'll make room for 2 features by dividing by 3. So now I'm going to space the square feature. I'll start with the vertical spacing, so I'll click the top edge of the tabletop, the top edge of the square, move the mouse away somewhere I have room to see. And that's very close, but what I'm actually going to type in is 3 divided by 2 minus 0.5. Please consult the document if you need further details about that. For the horizontal spacing, I'm going to click the right edge of the tabletop, the right edge of the square feature, move the mouse away, click again. I have an error, let's see what's going on. Try again, click once, click again. Hopefully it works this time. There we go. Sometimes it just takes a few attempts. This should be 5.75 divided by 3 minus 0.5. Okay, my spacing looks correct. I can finish my sketch. I'll go to extrude. I'll change this center icon here to extrude cut. I'll click on this feature, I'll click on this feature, and then I'll click the green check mark, and you can see now that my pieces have been cut. Before I go on, I'll change the color of this piece. First I'll change the material, and then I'll make this, what color do I want? How about magenta? File, save as, pegboard tabletop. Save. Now I'm going to assemble these 3 pieces together. I'm going to go to the iPro menu, New, and I want to make an assembly. Once the assembly window opens, I can see everything that I've created down below, and here's my assembly tab. I'm going to go to place and ensure that just place is selected. And from my desktop, I'm going to place my round peg, double click, place. I'm going to go back to place, and I will navigate to find my square peg. Place, anywhere, doesn't matter. And now I need to place my tabletop. Anywhere for now, we'll fix it later. Press escape to stop placing. You might want to zoom out. And now you can move these guys around the way you'd like. You can also free rotate by clicking free rotate, clicking on one of them, and you can rotate them around. But you don't have to use those tools. Once we use constraints, they'll line up properly. First thing I need to do is go to my pegboard tabletop, right click, and select grounded. Okay, once I select grounded, I can't move the tabletop piece, but I can still move these. I'm going to go to the constrain function, and you notice that the mate constraint defaults. They're both selected in blue. I'm going to mouse over my round peg until the center axis is highlighted. I'll click. Mouse over the round cut feature in the tabletop until you see its center axis appear. Click, and then click Apply. You can close out of this constraint window and move the view cube around, and we can check that this makes sense. If I click on my round peg and move it, it only moves up and down, whereas before the pegs could kind of move through the table, which doesn't really make sense. So we're looking pretty good. Next, I'm going to mate the square peg. I'll go to constrain, and for the square peg, I'll need to mate two faces together. And I'll need to do this twice. So I'll need to mate a pair of faces twice. So watch what I do. First, I'm going to click on this face. Then I'll move the view cube until I can see this face, and I'll click. Don't forget Apply. And now to give yourself some more space, you could close out of this and move this guy a little bit to the side. Go back to constrain. Mate is defaulted. And I'm going to move the view cube so I can get into that open space and mate this face to this face. Click Apply, close out, and let's test this out. Come on, view cube. Just moving it. We know this one works, and now this one works as well. So your assembly looks great. Go to the iPro, save as, desktop, pegboard, tabletop assembly, save, and to back